Steady now.
Amidst a glut of sandbox games in the early 2000s, spurred by the success of Grand Theft Auto 3, Mafia proved an odd outlier. While the likes of True Crime were console first, with perhaps a PC port to follow, Illusion Softworks did the reverse, with the critically acclaimed PC game being ported to consoles 19 months later. It was interesting to see, as Mafia was a hugely ambitious game that earned a level of praise not far short of its biggest competitors, and bringing all of that to the Xbox would still be challenging despite the system's grunt. The result proved an offer you should consider, with caveats.
We're going slower than a trolley car.
I'm trying, but this ain't no race car.
Tommy Angelo is a taxi driver plying his trade in the 1930s. His day job becomes complicated when he assists two mobsters of the Salieri family in escaping a rival family.
Where to?
Anywhere. Fast. I hope you're damn fast. Faster than Sam here was.
And although hesitant to join, Angelo soon becomes part of the Salieris to avoid a hit taken out on him. It's a really well-structured story, seeing Tommy telling of his ascent into the criminal underworld to a detective in the present, adding a layer of intrigue and tension.
That's how I got into it. 1 minute a regular cabbie, the next a respected mafioso.
It's bolstered by excellent writing and a ton of quality performances elevating the script, be it Michael Sorvino as the leading man Angelo, George DiCenzo as Salieri, or John Dorman's intimidating turn as Morello.
To say that I crashed into your car? No.
A few of the lines come off as cliched, and some of the voice work is very poor during certain scenes, but these are fairly rare faults in an otherwise quality story.
Mr. Morello's pretty angry with you. We're gonna have to teach you a little lesson so you remember that it ain't right.
Mafia proves an interesting take on the formula, as while it boasts a large open world in the form of the fictional Lost Heaven, its 20 plus missions are fairly linear. These usually see you equipping weapons and choosing a vehicle in the Salieri compound before departing.
It should work. I wasn't planning on using it anyway. Thanks.
Driving between key points, entering sub-locations, and taking down foes is typically the name of the game, with multiple checkpoints between missions at least proving more palatable than competing titles. It takes a little under 20 hours to beat the game, and while most missions are fairly simple, a few outliers do stand out.
Tell Salieri from here on out this place is ours. Capiche?
Some boast more complexity, such as a later mission involving the theft of crates from a warehouse using a stolen truck. While you can open fire, and have a very tough time in the process, you can play it cool and opt to move crates for a demanding boss, and gift yourself short windows to load the truck without confrontation. Mafia's mix of mechanics vary in quality. Driving remains enjoyable, with the older style cars still offering a decent sense of speed and playing nicely into police mechanics. Speeding or minor crimes will see you pulled over, and after paying a fine, though disappointingly money systems aren't present in the story, you can continue on, though repeated offences and serious crimes can see you fail a mission if arrested. Cars can also display some decent visual damage, be it a dented headlight or damaged trunk. Shooting, unfortunately, feels worse for wear, not helped by the generally awkward movement, which feels like a holdover from the PC. Tommy's walk and turning both feel stiff, and though shooting allows you to aim freely, hitting targets can be a crapshoot thanks to inconsistent collision detection. You can snap your aim onto foes, which helps somewhat, but it's still not great, and can see you die quickly due to being unable to appropriately defend yourself, turning lengthier shootouts into a chore. Mafia's transition to Xbox is also visually disappointing next to other PC to Xbox ports, with noticeable limitations. The texture work is lacking in both the environment and character models, fogging and pop-in are quite prevalent, and performance can seriously dip during open world driving and intense shootouts. It's a shame, as Lost Heaven remains pretty big and shows a mix of various landmarks and architecture from different cities of the time, and some of the cutscenes look impactful despite their dated appearance, though intermittent loading can interrupt these. The audio is still great, with a strong sense of atmosphere through ambient background noises, potent weapons, and touches faithful to the period, such as the horn blasts you can perform with your car. Occasional music heightens this further, be it jazzy driving tunes or bombastic strings.
Just try it.
No. God. Don't. Get him.
Completing Mafia does reward some fun extra modes to keep you going a little longer. Races become available, allowing you to use a few of the dozens of vehicles to compete in both single events and championships. Interestingly, they run at 60 frames per second with almost no slowdown, which is good. Free Ride lets you enter any part of the city using cars unlocked throughout story missions and earn cash through a myriad of means. Performing taxi fares, killing mobsters, or speeding builds up cash to buy health and weapons, and though it's not the deepest thing ever, it can offer some fun sandbox sessions outside of linear story chapters. Mafia's reception on console would prove much more muted next to the lauded PC original, and while you can certainly see it as a downgrade, it's still fairly enjoyable next to competing sandbox titles on console. Held up by its fantastic storytelling, atmosphere, and a handful of memorable missions, it offers a decent amount of playtime for those wanting to become a mafioso. Unfortunately, clunky gunplay and a weak presentation can hinder the fun, and some technical woes make it harder to recommend next to the original version. However, those wanting a solid alternative to the heavy hitters might want to try this out.
And what about the police? You just walked away, just like that, from a massacre. Didn't you have any problem with this?
You work for the police. You ought to know.